found a huge sum of cash and a document. Susie was an undercover spy who spent years trying to lock down on an illegal trade scam, and her bank account surpassed $3 million. Her cover was blown, and I was able to quickly wire her money to her safe in Hawaii. There wasn't that much information about this safe. As I'm looking through the rest of the mail, this key that I found was most likely the key to this safe. But now the safe, the $3 million, could be potentially cursed. What's up, you guys? It's your girl Mia, and today I'm gonna tell you guys a little story about family and money. Some of you guys already know bits and pieces of this story from what I posted on TikTok, and here's the full story on how my great-grandmother became a millionaire. In a not so, well, you'll see. So get your snacks and get comfy. Also, when I posted these mini clips on TikTok, I sort of posted them out of order, only because I didn't find the facts in order. But now I'm gonna tell it from beginning to end, no mix-ups. Now that we got that little disclaimer out of the way, let's get to the story. Last week, I was in the garage looking for some more paper towels because I had just made a mess on the kitchen table. And my mom had just cleaned these tables too. And you all know how moms get when you mess up their tables, especially after they just cleaned it. So, you know, I had to hurry up and, you know, try to clean up the mess before she saw it. And so my dad puts the paper towels in the same spot in the garage every single time. But this time, I had to really try to find these towels. So I'm venturing through the garage, going further in the garage, all around the garage, trying to find these dang towels. And as I'm looking around for these towels, I come across our filing cabinet that we have had for years. Not 4 years, but 4 years. Like, I'm pretty sure my dad has had this since he was in his 20s. Anyways, I was always curious to see what we had in there because I was never allowed to see it. I don't know. All I knew is that we kept important documents in there, as he says. But back to the paper towels. I did not find them. So I went back inside the house with a bunch of thoughts in my head about these files. And you know, I just had to ask my dad about these files. Forget about the paper towels now. So I asked my dad, you know, why haven't I been able to see these files? And he didn't really answer my question. He said if I was able to figure out how to open these files, he would tell me why I wasn't allowed to see them in the first place, and that when I opened them, I would know why he didn't tell me. I was determined to get these files because I do have a lot of time on my hands just to see if I could find out what the files could really be about. You know, I went through numerous photos of my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, and even going through these, I didn't put the clues in my head of the pictures that I saw of my great-grandmother. For some reason, all the pictures that we had of her in these albums, she was dressed super fancy. So then my next step was to find a key to open these files. Couldn't find anything. So now I'm like, okay, dad trying to challenge me now, let's frickin' go. Ain't got nothing on me, got nothing on me. I got this. I did not give up, simply because like I knew I wasn't gonna be able to sleep if I didn't find these files. And after an hour trying to find a key, I caved and I started to use a screwdriver. I took that and I started picking around. I picked around for about 10 minutes and I heard something click. And this cabinet had about 4 little cubbies and I had just opened the first one. I pulled out the first folder in the stack and I found a huge sum of cash and a document. It was about $500 in there. But one of the documents that I found was a letter from someone I didn't even know of. And by the way, this document looks super clean and untouched. And I'll tell you what this document said in a minute. Just wait until the next part of the story unfolds. So I took the letter out of the folder and I took the cash, obviously, and I brought it inside. I didn't tell my parents that I found this because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how they were gonna feel. I didn't know how they were gonna react. So I just kind of kept it to myself. So the next day comes around and I'm in the kitchen again. I had just finished eating some Jell-O in a cup and I was about to throw it away. And before I threw it away, I saw this stack of old mail chilling in the trash. They weren't last week's old mail. They were like 1900s old mail. And this mail was not in the files at all. And when I found this mail, it looked like it was just freshly put on top of all the other trash beneath it. So I was genuinely curious how maybe this could lead to something else. And as I was looking through the stack of mail, I found this old bank book that had my great-grandmother's name on it. Ding, ding, ding! It's all connecting now. So the book was a history of all the money she deposited and withdrew. It dated as far as the 1940s. You know, it showed that she was depositing 30, 60, 90, even hundreds of dollars on the daily, which was a lot at the time. Like, chill, grandma, save some for the rest of us. So I'm real curious. I looked at the bank and it said that it dissolved in 1992, which means that it no longer exists. Great. But okay, now I wanted to see how much money was left. if there's anything sitting there. I went on Google and I tried to find out its value from 2020. $3 million. I'm sorry, what was that? And so this is where that letter that I found comes into play. Hello. Not sure who will read this, but on the behalf of Susie, my name is William. I told Susie countless of times that I should not be the one to tell her family. But I write this to her future. Susie has passed, as you may already know. She told me to inform the public that she was taken by a heart attack. However, that was not the case. Susie was an undercover spy who spent years trying to lock down on an illegal trade scandal by working in the underworld. In the 1940s, she deposited hundreds of dollars and her bank account surpassed $3 million because of the trust she built from the scandal. Keep in mind, she was an undercover spy. She had dreamed that once this was all over, she would leave with a large sum of money to her future. However, before this case was over, her cover was blown. So she contacted me and I was able to quickly wire her money to her safe in Hawaii so that she would not have the money in her possession. This wasn't the best decision, but all she had dreamed of was being able to provide for her future. Sadly enough, she did not have time to tell me where she put the key, but I'm sure it's not too far from where this letter was found. Okay, a couple things. Who is Will? My great-grandmother was an undercover spy? And so I started to look up all this information that I was given, including the stuff that was in the letter. And I had no idea where the key was to this safe. So I began thinking like, oh, like what if this key is the same for the files that it is for the safe? But why would it be, you know? But as I'm looking through the rest of the mail, I found a key in this mini book. And now I'm thinking, okay, Mia, like don't get too excited now. This might not even be it. But like in the letter, it said that wherever this letter was found, the key is probably near it. Also with this key, there was information to where the safe was located. And there wasn't that much information about this safe. All it really said was that the safe was in Hawaii. And then I flip over the back of the letter and there's actually more stuff on it. Will said through the process of wiring this money, my great-grandmother had gotten multiple people to wire this money to get to its final destination, which is in Hawaii. And the last person to keep in touch with her was Will. So in conclusion, this key that I found was most likely the key to this safe. But again, the safe is in Hawaii and I live in California. So I went back to the garage to the filing cabinet to see if I could find any more information about this safe. And I found a little note with a warning that said this: the money was illegally obtained despite the undercover situation. But if someone claims the money, they will be seized. And you know, something having to do with Roller World, whatever that is. And I'm just standing here like, imagine if I were to get that money right now. Imagine. Like, I could literally help out so many people with this money. Was I gonna risk it for the biscuit? Because the downside of this situation was that the money could not even be there anymore. Or, hear me out on this one, the money could be potentially cursed. Like y'all, bad karma is real. So after some thinking, I figured that the best thing to do was to let the money rest. Wherever it may really be, even if it's not there. Wherever it is. Because I honestly didn't know where the safe was located and I wasn't really gonna risk it, especially right now. But like, who knows? I could find out tomorrow, next week, next year, or maybe never. So I just figured that I would keep the $500 that I found in the folder in the filing cabinet. And now just thinking about it, that was probably what was genuinely left in my great-grandmother's bank account, which she left for her future. But now the safe, the $3 million, it all remains a true mystery.
I found the Roller World money.